Good evening. A warm welcome to all of you. Hope all of you are doing well. Our topic for today is healing the mind using meditation and medication. Today, more than any other time in history, we carry the greatest burden of chronic disease on our very shoulders. Studies have looked at meditation as an adjunct treatment for numerous medical conditions. To varying degrees, meditation has been shown to benefit patients with hypertension, chronic pain, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, anxiety, depression, and substance abuse. To shed light on this subject, we have with us today Dr. Prashant, who was born in India but is presently based in Cambridge, UK. He is a medical doctor with a background in surgery and integrated health. Dr. Prashant has been a student and a teacher with the Brahma Kumaris. He has spoken about the spiritual and holistic principles of life and health in more than 80 countries at universities, medical schools, and organizations, including the WHO and the medical teaching program within the USA. So let us all welcome Brother Prashant, who's joining us from Cambridge today. Good morning.
Very nice to connect, and good morning, Jabin. So nice to see you also, and nice to connect to Indonesia.
Thank you for joining us today. So I shall hand over the platform to you now.
I was in Indonesia about 20 years ago, and very sweet memories of place and people.
Oh, wonderful. Hope once again, everything, when it settles down, we can have you here with us.
Yes, definitely. So today our subject is connected with health. Essentially, the title is nice, medication and meditation. We might not talk too much about medication because you all possibly have enough of this. And we will be seeing some slides to start with. So we will move to the slide if it is okay. And let us see if that works well. Perfect. So here I'm just showing one name, George Vithoulskas. He is based in Greece, and some of the research that he has done, he writes in his book on new model for health and disease. And what he is writing in this book, and over the years, what he has observed, our so-called health approach, what we are doing, we are just replacing one problem by another problem. So in his studies, he sees different health problems, and he, in his practice, they treat the people, they go home, he brings them back again after 3 months. They have no complaints, but he brings them back 3 months, 6 months later, and he sees what is going on in their life and in their health, checks some parameters, and he finds that the problem is just shifted to another organ. So here, if the skin problem is fixed, it gets shifted to muscle or bone. So he gives this whole range of problems that come one by followed by other. And at the end of the day, the illness is there. The person may not go to the doctor because the osteoporosis of the bone doesn't create complaints on the same day. But 2 years later, 4 years later, he will have some problems. So he goes. So he says that so-called illness is not really dealt with. Now this matches with our observations. If we see our global health, Department of Health, say over the last 100 years, there is such enthusiasm with the modern health. We got amazing drugs, and we can do such a clever surgery, and we can replace one organ by another organ. But if you see the health state of the population, we have got more illness today than in the past for the same ratio of the population. And this is before all this pandemic. We need stronger medications to treat problems compared to in the past. Just as example, some person gets an infection, pneumococcus infection. 80 years ago, he could be treated with the guarantee with a certain dose of crystalline penicillin. Let us say 70 years ago, you give a certain amount of penicillin and he would be treated 100%. Today, the same condition comes, the prescribed dose is 23 times more than 70 years ago. And today, the crystalline penicillin, that will definitely not work. So you have to give stronger antibiotic to treat the same problem. And still, you are not always sure that it will be treated. So the World Health Organization makes a statement: we are fighting a losing battle against bacteria and viruses. So these bacteria, and they are sort of becoming stronger, and human beings in their constitution are becoming weaker. And all that we are doing, maybe we are just going for the easier option and replacing one problem, trying thinking of clever methods by which we can postpone the problem. So here we are seeing, what is the health? And we are seeing if we are to deal with the health, we may have to address different things. The genes have to be healthy to be a person to be healthy, but genes are right. Then our chemicals and hormones in the body, that matters. And then diet is another important factor, environment, and then lifestyle. And our belief. Belief in this case is not just a religion, but some people may have a certain belief in them that they are not nice. I'm not nice. I'm bad. Or I deserve some illness. Or this vaccine is going to create more problems to me. It is some kind of it is a mindset you accept, and it does influence. And what is seen, some people can become fanatic. They say diet is all that is required, nothing else. Some say you need to be vegetarian. That is the method to be healthy. Some say no, just your belief. You have to change your belief, and then you'll be all right. No, we have to pay attention to all levels. Health includes all, and if things can be changed at all levels, that is a good news. Just in this context, I would like to give one example. Someone with depression, he goes to the doctor, he gets antidepressant, he gets a certain results. Say 20% of the patients may get benefit. He goes to the psychotherapist, and 20% people get benefit. If these 100 people are given both, some medication and some psychotherapy, then the benefits are 50%. More people take benefit by combination. So this is a good thing for us to know that we have to work at all levels. So I'm talking today about meditation, but I am not ignoring the diet. I'm not ignoring the lifestyle. I'm not saying don't take medications. Not, they all have a part. It is not one against the other. It has its place. It is just that today, some cultures, they are taking so many medications that it is the cause of more problems. 25% of admissions in New York hospitals are directly because of the medications they have taken in the past. So it gives you an idea. So the medication itself becomes another reason for health problems. Now, let us see a simple message. What is happening with why is there illness? This is what we are really questioning. But let us start with pain. Why do people get pain? Why is nature giving us pain? You know, here we are seeing only if you sit in a wrong posture, there will be pain. If you are in the right posture, there is no pain. We have to ask, is there a wrong posture in us in various time in your bed, if there is a wrong posture, it will bring pain. And we are speaking of this at this stage just to highlight that in our mind, we may be having a wrong posture. And this is what we are going now. The discussion will be about the meditation side. You know, just as at a physical level, wrong posture gives pain, we want to ask, is there a wrong posture of the mind? And if there is a wrong posture of the mind, we have to change it. I will stop the slides. You got some very interesting images there, and I will be using the whiteboard. But is there a time for people to interact, ask? I like that, if anyone wants to interact. I should also say, Jabin, we greatly appreciated your absolute efficiency and being on top of things, thoroughly if professional approach. So it will be good if anyone want to say anything,
Yes,
type in.
brother, we have time, and feel free to unmute everyone. Feel free to unmute yourself and or drop your comments or questions on the chat box and interact with Dr. Prashant.
Yeah, anytime if you want to say anything. So here, first I like to tell one um, nice joke with Socrates. One young man comes to Socrates and asks him, "Should I get married?" And Socrates thinks for a while and says, "Truly, it doesn't matter because you will suffer in either case." And that gives us an idea about our posture, position in life, that regardless of what we do, our inner programming itself is to suffer, in other words. And we are questioning this, our inner posture. So meditation is the last part of it. First, we are understanding, is there, what is my position in this life, in this world? So I will be using a board. And as you heard, feel free to type your questions. And if you want to say anything, please say. And whilst I'm talking, I will be happy to address. Interactive atmosphere is richer. I like it. And Jabin, if you want to ask anything, you know the thinking and the questions from your friends also. It will be very happy. So here's some simple and position we are trying. If I want to see the town, and if I see the bigger map, and if I'm going, say, to another town, and if I see the bigger map, that helps me. I know which is the shortest route, how I can get there. Always look at a map before you go somewhere. So if I'm to look at the big map of our world here, since we are in the world, let us see the map of this world, know what we are dealing with the rest of the life. And so if you see the map, the whole physical world will look like this. And I'm just, this box represents the entire world that exists. And I'm asking you questions. Tell me one word that describes what is happening in this box. What I'm saying here, this box represents the entire world. So your town is here in that box, everyone that you know is in the box, Prashant is in the box, and Joe Biden is also in the box. Whatever that you see is within the box, our entire physical world. Tell me one word that describes what is happening there. You can't use the word chaos, but any other word.
There is a comment which says limited.
It is limited, yes. Any other? One word I would like to mention, change. Change is a law. Everything there, in this world, like the place where you are sitting, you will see the change happening in around you. Even Prashant is moving his posture here, and the planet is moving through space. Do you know at what speed this planet is moving? 30 kilometers per second. That sort of speed we are traveling through space. So everything is changing, so on a small level and big level. The subatomic particles are also moving, and at a big level, things are moving. So change. With change comes beginning and end to everything. Everything that you are seeing around you is not permanent. There's an end. And another relevant word, it is unpredictable. You don't know what is to happen next second. Such is the nature of this world. It has end and it is unpredictable. Okay, there are many things in this world that are unpredictable. Like say, if there is some airline that tells you it is unpredictable, no guarantee whether it will go on the right time, it will arrive on the right time, no guarantee, unpredictable. Then you have the option how much you want to engage with that airline. Then you can be the observer. You can just stay out of it completely, and then it doesn't matter for you. Now this box is coming up front with a label, unpredictable. And now if you create any attachment in it, what will happen? It is a guaranteed pain. You just need to create a little attachment and pain is guaranteed. So anytime, here is that word, you start using the letter my, that is attachment. Just one letter, my. Then you feel it, you can lose it because things change, things disappear. You create desire within it. That is another attachment, another bondage. You create desire. I want something. There is a cloud, and a cloud is going, and I create a desire that cloud should not change the shape. The cloud should not change color. You create a bondage. Cloud is unpredictable. Your desire is just trapping you. So here is the box. And the question for us is, have we got any bondage? Have we created any bondage with this world? And if we have created a bondage, then our life becomes one of subconscious insecurity. Because change bothers you now, the end bothers you, unpredictability bothers you. You are at complete conflict with this world. And at present, everyone is going in this direction. More in different ways. They don't even know any other option other than life of bondage in this. And the more a person is at this end of the spiral, more the misery, guaranteed misery, mind. More he is at this end of the spiral, less misery. But misery is guaranteed once you are in the spiral. The first emotion, as we saw here, is insecurity. The change in all this is bothering you, and this is the kind of life everyone is leading. So it is feeling insecure. What might happen tomorrow? And no one likes to feel insecure. So their next step is desperation to feel secure. And so desperation means I want more cakes or I want more money. That is their idea that will make me secure. Or someone should change and someone should say something good things to me and then I will feel secure. You are relying upon that unpredictable world. And when a person at this level, an uncertainty, will I get it or not? That is what is called stress. Stress is defined as desire uncertainty complex. I lose it and I can't blame anyone. It takes the form of anger. I desperately want something and I'm not getting it. Then there is anger. If I can't blame anyone, then there is no anger, but there is sadness. If I can blame someone, it takes the form of anger. If I can't blame, then that anger is directed towards me. And it takes the form of frustration, sadness, that if I don't get it, someone else gets it. I find myself in envy. You will see the whole spectrum of our different emotions. Their origin is here. Origin is in what? Origin is in disattachments. Once you are in the spiral, then only the insecurities come and desperations come and all these unpleasant emotions. Big question for us, you know, this is the kind of life everyone's leading. And what we are saying, this subconscious insecurity, that energy is required to create illness also. This insecure, the energy, is the cause of lots of our problems, in life, in community. No one likes to feel insecure, so he becomes greedy, he becomes addict. The reason addictions, any kind of addictions, behind they are looking for making themselves feeling secure. And so they think by taking more and more, it will make them secure. They want greed, they think it will make them secure. Violence, they feel insecure, so they think they should keep a gun. They in itself promotes violence, insecurity. They invite violence. All social problems of any kind, the reason behind is insecure feeling. Insecurity brings all this. You want to say anything?
Yes, I would like to ask you, insecurity could be not only because of the outside circumstances, it could be also insecurity within us that we are no good and I can never be successful and things like that. Maybe you could explain a little bit about that.
Yeah. The whole, it is in the context of this box. What about, I'm not good, so I may not achieve something, I might not get the certain job, this, it is in the context of the world outside. And this itself is already, we said at the beginning, a wrong posture. To go in that spiral, we are saying that itself is a wrong mental posture, and we will see, to go through life, do I need this? We'll question this. But let me ask another question now. With the airline, it is possible for me not to create these attachments, and I don't want to be too caught up with the airline. We can use the word for that. You are becoming an observer. There is cloud. Cloud comes, cloud goes. I remain the observer. Means I don't create any attachments. And when I'm the observer, there is no insecurity. I got nothing to lose. So the best word to describe it is detached involvement. So one is very much involved and at the same time is free. So it is called detached involvement. We use the word observer for that. That is where we want to be. So we are in the box. I am in the job. We want to be in the world here, but you are not into. You may even go to the airlines office, but as long as I am not um, buying tickets, then I'm all right. It is a bit like that. Detached involvement is you are involved and you are not running away, but at the same time free. Question is it possible for us to be in this world, to be involved in everything, to be in your job, to be with money, to be with people, to be in your town, city, food, banks, have a dog, and zero bondage, zero attachments? Is it possible? Who says it is impossible? You can raise your hands. To be involved in everything, to be in your town, people, money, job, banks, and zero attachments. Who feels it is possible? You can raise your hands. And who feels it is impossible and who feels it is possible?
There is a comment which says theoretically possible. And there is another comment which says tough.
That's good. Yeah, very good. Now, let me give another example. Here is a museum in your town, and you go to visit the museum for the first time. You spend 1 hour there, you enjoy many things within it, and you come out. So you go there in the museum and you come out. You enjoy going in, you enjoy coming out. You are there, touching things, meeting people, and you come out. You have no attachments at all, zero attachments. You are involved, at the same time free. When you come out, you are equally happy to come out. How did you manage that? Maybe just 1 hour, but for 1 hour, you have zero attachments. How did you manage? Just one reason. The reason is you knew you are a guest. That understanding prevented you from going in the direction of attachments. You didn't go in this direction. When you knew you are a guest, it also meant you knew the exit. You clearly know the time you are going to come out. You already got plans beforehand. And since you are going to come out, it appears ridiculous to go in the direction of creating attachments. And just to be all that happened, you saw the bigger map. That's all. And then you didn't go in the direction of bondage. It is possible. It can be a child going with you to the same museum. And when it is time to come out, the child cries. It is possible. We have seen something like that happen often. What happened there? Why is the child crying when it is time to go? Child cannot see the bigger map. Their intellect cannot handle it. That's why they create attachments. They are there for a short time. They feel they are creating attachment. Then time to go out, you see these children crying. So what they have done, they crossed this dotted line. This dotted line represents ignorance, but it also represents deception. You are deceived in believing that that is mine. And when it is time to come out, you feel, oh, it was really not mine, and you lost. So all that sorrow was secondary to deception. You crossed that line, dotted line. Am I clear so far? Once you knew you are a guest, then you did not go in that direction. Now let us ask our life here again. We are coming back to our grand situation. The same box we are seeing. We are in this world, physical world. Do you think we are guests here on this planet? Are we guests on this planet? Let me ask another way. Any of you got plans to stay here forever? Anyone making those plans to stay in this world forever? If you are not making those plans, then you are a guest. It also means you got to exit. It also means you cannot take anything from here. You leave everything here. So you got a very clear exit, and you can't take one atom from this world. All that tells you that at most you are a trustee of many things in this world, but you don't own anything. Now that is such a beautiful insight about our life here, that we are travelers, we got a journey, we got an exit, we are trustees. And if you take this posture, then there is no reason for sorrow at all. You are involved, but you don't own one atom, beforehand. You don't need to create bondages there. Just like a tourist, Now, once you play with that attitude, even for 1 minute, you play with that attitude of a guest, what immediately happens is an emotion of being secure. You have nothing to lose. You remain the same. And when you are secure, there is a different emotion that comes up. Only a secure person experiences peace. Only one who is secure experiences happiness. He is happy. Only a secure person experiences love. Do you agree with that? Let me ask one question. Why do we love children more? The only reason, the real reason we love children more, they make us feel secure. They are not competing with you, and they are not seeing your weaknesses, they are not making judgments. Your ego feels secure. That's why lots of love there for children. You know, there is all your positive emotions. They come when you discover your security. When you touch that, feeling secure deep inside, feeling secure. Guest always has a good life. Guest comes to your house, guest goes to some other place. Guest always enjoys more because he is having nothing to lose. He feels everything is a gift and he enjoys it. You know, every moment appears anew, fresh. That is the life of one who is a guest. And so one who is in this space naturally finds richness of the heart. But from there, when there is an emotional stability, your concentration is better and your clarity improves. So it creates richness of the head also. That is just a sign that your posture is right. There is no pain and you are going in the right direction. So if we are to say the meditation part of it, if someone wants to know what is the meditation, it is not just simple meditation, chanting. In this meditation, we want to change the posture and we literally need to go in this direction. Whole world is going in the opposite direction. We want to come in this direction. For this, we have the option to play with this word. The word guest is not a new word. This word is used by the prophets and by poets. They all are talking about we are guests and they are singing this. But if you experience being a guest, even for 1 minute, then you are going in this direction. If you create another minute, you are going in this direction. And that is a good news. More you are going in this direction, your inner life will continue to be like this. You will feel inner lightness and inner security. And when there is inner security, it brings peace and love and feelings of happiness and richness of clarity, concentration, creative. You are discovering this at an intellectual level, at an emotional level. But when you are secure, that itself is a medication for the body. Inner security. You are secure not because you got lots of gold. Most people think they know they want to feel secure, but they think if I have lots of gold here, that will make me secure. But I got all the gold. Now that box itself is unpredictable. So he experiences more insecurity. Oh, what will happen to my gold? The banks are not reliable. This is robbers are in the town. So consciously, subconsciously, more insecurity. People invest too much in making themselves secure within that box. As we said, that is a deception. We are not seeing the bigger map. First, let me experience security by seeing the bigger map. Once you have seen bigger map, then you discover that box is not a basis of my security. Let me feel secure another level. And then come in this world and play the game. Nothing wrong with the gold and nothing wrong with the cakes and jobs, nothing wrong with anything. But you are not going there as a beggar. You are going there with a noble personality. This mind creates noble personalities. I'll tell you one story. Do you like stories? Okay, I'll tell a story and then we will have some more discussion after that. In this story, one man was falling off a cliff And as he was falling off, he tries to catch hold of some tree, some branches, and he says, God, God, help, help. And so there was God, and God said, I can help you, but you have to obey me. So this man said, no problem, I'll obey you rest of my life. I will do anything for you, but you have to obey me. You know, uh, so this the man was willing to do anything for God. So God said, in that case, let go. So if you are willing to do anything for me, no problem. In that case, let go. So this man, um, there was a long silence. God is telling him, he's holding to these branches, hoping that someone will help him. And God comes and says, let go. So there was long silence. And after the silence, this man says, is there anybody else there to help me? And there was nobody else to help him. So he has to listen to God and let go. And when he let go, he discovered he was on the ground. Ground was very close. And when he touches the ground, now he can go back on those branches again and do the same thing he was doing before. What's the difference? He was on the branches before. He is on the branches now. What's the difference? Difference is that now he is playing with the branches. Earlier, he was in panic. So when he has touched the ground, it means he is discovering his security. And when you are secure, here is that word. Let me remove this gold. So once he has touched the ground, now he knows that he's secure. And once he discovers his security, his life is he's playing with the branch. Earlier, his time was in panic. When the branch was his support, his time was in panic. This is our story. And what are the branches we are taking support from? That includes people, position, possessions, place, different things within that box. We are taking support from that. And more we are taking support from that, our life becomes one of subconscious panic. That wrong posture that we said. And we said at the beginning itself, the cause of illness is this subconscious insecurity is the cause. If you want to change it, we have to touch this sense of security, absolute security. And then having touched the ground, he's coming back. He's not running away from this, but he's coming to play. He's with people, positions, he's not running away, but he's playing with it. When will you perform better? When you are in panic or when you are playing? Yeah, and I will stop here. It will be nice to hear some thoughts. First from Jabin, it will be nice to hear from you.
Yes, thank you, brother. I think what you started with, that we have to pay attention to our posture of our mind, because very often we correct our posture of our body. But I think I myself personally have learned something very new today is to keep on checking the posture of your mind. And what I would like you to little bit add or speak about is once you are feeling that security, like you said, would that also create more confidence within us so that our communication and interaction with others would be better? How would it help?
Yeah, excellent. Let us see. What happens is once you are um, in in that secure mind, once you have discovered that personality, higher personality, then in that space, all your interaction is coming from that personality. We said in that space you are more content and there is more peace and there is more happiness. All of that, you are not selfish. When we are in that other mindset of our own little worry, little thing to complain, little thing to be disappointed, insecure, we remain helplessly selfish. There's something I want, and that interferes with our healthy interaction with people. Our relationship can be much more cleaner and better if that insecurity factor was not there.
Thank you. We have some questions here.
Mhm.
Our first question I would like to take is from YouTube. Isn't it destined that in general the health of people will decline as per law of entropy?
We also know, there are many things going on, many factors influencing, but within that, people do certain exercise and they improve their health. You know, like it is observed, all of us, you will have observed. If you introduce in your life even 20 minutes of exercise every day, compared to another batch of people who don't do any exercise, you will notice improvement in your physical health and mental health. Even 20 minutes, your fast walk every day, you will notice a difference. If you can introduce 40 minutes, you will see even more improvement. It is guaranteed. Studies shows this. Not just physical health, but even mental health. So there are many things we can do. There are factors. Agree there is entropy and factors in this world, but we can pay attention to our diet and pay attention to our lifestyle. But what we are saying here, if you pay attention to your mind, benefits are disproportionately bigger. In one study at Harvard, one associate professor at Harvard in medicine by name Herbert Benson, his book is called Relaxation Revolution. So he has been studying meditation for more than 30 years. He is associate professor there for 40 years, or he is connected with the Harvard College Medical School for 40 years. And what he says, those who practice meditation, all different health situations, he shows the improvement and he shows the figures. But he was surprised to see that the brain of these people was getting thicker. Those who practice meditation, their brain is thicker after a few years compared to before. And he also observed that the genetics, genes of the person changed. The genes are not replaced, but their expression changed. Genes don't get replaced. which means, say, someone has some health problem, and they are genetically connected. After some years of meditation, those particular genes closed, their expression stopped, and the other genes, opposite genes, opened, and their expression. And he shows this, in his studies. And the book is called Relaxation Revolution, and the name is Herbert Benson. And it is very interesting to see it at a gene level. The change happens. If we pay attention to mind, what we are seeing today is a deep change of your thinking, because you're consciously and subconsciously you feel you're completely carefree, you're secure, and you are never a victim. When you have that position, you are the guest. Many things happen here. You know that you are never a victim, not even the slightest. That kind of mind, it gives a message to the body. That subconscious mind has its own communication with the body, and it is positive. He shows someone practices for 4 minutes. The practice here we are saying to be the guest and in the world. Who is the guest? The invisible guest. One who doesn't own a single atom. Not that Prashant is a guest. Prashant is not a guest. Prashant is part of this physical world. But this invisible guest is the invisible traveler. So we call this soul consciousness. So you create this awareness for 4 minutes. Let there be quality in this practice. And there will be, you will see the shift. But it is like an ongoing practice. There are many, health is just one benefit. There are many other things to experience.
Thank you. You actually touched a topic that I was very, very keen on asking you about. Is that what I've read is that as we age, our brain tends to shrink because it's just like a muscle in the body, that just depletes. So maybe you could share on that, on how do we keep the brain intact or stop it from shrinking, because once it shrinks, that's when a lot of people go through um, illnesses like Alzheimer's and other things.
Yeah, yes, this, as we said in this studies, it shows, how the brain is helped. But there are many factors at that level. It is certain part of the brain, where it gets thicker. Certain other parts of the brain, the changes may continue. And regardless of what happens, there are, as we said, many factors influence our life. But this is a nice thing we can introduce. Good habits. We said some 20 minutes of exercise. It is good. At many levels, it is good. In the same way, creating some time for the mind, for the brain, just creating that time of concentration that can only be positive, and you will look at it with, as time progresses, you will be pleased that you introduced that habit.
Okay. Could you lead us to a few minutes of guided meditation as to when we are feeling not secure? Maybe what we could do at that time. This is one of the questions from one of the participants.
Sure. Let us create these few minutes, and let us have 4 minutes and 4 steps. Step 0 is the posture, physical posture. See that we are not sitting in certainly not having coffee or sitting in a preferably raised head, straight back, and in some meditation posture. Step one, we are using the word invisible traveler. Instead of mind wandering in some other directions, we are directing it towards the invisible traveler. Just as in your town, suddenly you see a tourist. Hey, this tourist is not from this town, and he has a return journey. He's just visiting. In the same way, our mind is seeing this invisible tourist on this planet. An invisible tourist looks like a presence, invisible presence, light. And we know he's not from here. He has a very clear personality, and he has a return journey. He has a world beyond. Step one, invisible traveler. Step two, the traveler becomes the observer. So this invisible traveler now is seeing this world. And he's seeing this world knowing that he has a exit, guaranteed exit. He is very aware of his world beyond. And so he has no intention to create any attachments here. He knows he doesn't want a single atom of this world. He has no intention to get stuck here. The invisible traveler finds this whole experience as a gift, just like any tourist. This invisible traveler finds every moment is a gift. The next moment, another gift. He enjoys coming, he enjoys living. He's so grateful for the great experience and great interaction. There's nothing to complain. Step three, the traveler sees this entire physical world not just as another world he's visiting, but he sees it as a story, as if he is visiting a drama. He's a guest in this drama world. Story. He's watching a grand story. So everything that happened so far happened in a story. And what happened today is a story. And Prashant speaking here, that is also happening in a story. This is the way he sees the invisible traveler. And when we are seeing a story, we never complain. There is nothing to be obsessed about in a story, nothing to worry about, nothing to complain about. When it is a story, we don't create ego within a story. We don't create desires within a story. We enjoy the story in a different way. We like stories. The invisible traveler is dealing with this amazing, grand story world. Step 4, the traveler comes beyond the story. And beyond the story is silence. There is no noise of the story. Beyond the story is the real world. It is not a fiction anymore. We see this world in the image of a sky. World of light and world of complete silence. This is the home of the invisible travelers. They belong here. Timeless, changeless, endless. As these travelers continue on their journey, they remember the beautiful truth, the great perspective of the invisible traveler. Understand the ultimate right posture for life. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. I think you gave us an experience of both being the observer of the drama or the play, and also of going home where you feel most secure. Generally, everybody, when they go home, they feel very secure. And I think you took us to have this both feeling today. We have one more question. What if we don't know how long we will stay in the museum, yet not happy, particularly being at the museum?
Yes, the only reason someone may not be happy when we create attachments or expectation in any form. When we cross that line, that is the only reason anyone can become unhappy. Just as we said, if one is in the mindset of the guest, traveler, everything is a gift. And we as if have to experiment with this. Child that has crossed the line, that child, is unhappy. We have to analyze a little bit, not too much, but check where is the expectation, where is the attachment, is there a bondage somewhere? Even for a few seconds, clean it completely. Let us see this moment is an absolute gift for us, for the invisible traveler. Start completely clean, even for a few minutes. Invisible traveler, not old me, as we said, Prashant is not a traveler. Prashant is part of this. But start clean, invisible traveler, seeing this for completely first time. It can only be a gift. We as if have to start, from that clean slate, give ourselves the contrast. Otherwise, we have created, we have gone in that direction of the spiral for a long time.
The last one is like the posture of the mind concept. The mind influences how happy we are. People are looking for happiness outside from others, we need more help in managing our minds. If there's anything you would like to add on that?
Yes, we have to do the homework. What we said today, that is a guideline, what we can do, and start the process. And it is sustained, I'm sure. Like in Indonesia, Jabin will give the follow-up program and steps that can be done. This is the introduction, what we said so far. But once you create these minutes and minutes, we have spoken earlier, the upward direction. You are moving in that direction. Just understanding this doesn't change, but once you start putting in practice, the posture changes. Putting in other words, if you detach fully, even for 10 seconds, those 10 seconds will be of happiness. It is almost like a guarantee. The nature of the soul is of happiness. The only reason we are not experiencing our own greatness is because of the bondage, wrong posture. We don't need cakes to be happy. The inner happiness we can touch. The formula is step back.
Thank you very much. Just like you said, what we need to take is like the story you shared, that the man who was holding on to the branch, and the minute he took that leap, for him, he got out of that panic mode and into the playing mode, because after that he could play with that same branch. And that is what we need to do. Just take the first leap. So thank you once again for joining us. And I would like to thank everyone. Also, let us encourage each other to join on this meditation journey. Meditation will increase your overall quality of life. And best part of it is that it is free and has no side effects. Thank you, Dr. Prashant, once again for joining us this morning.
Such a pleasure to connect with Indonesia, and always carried sweet memories since I visited it 20 years ago.
Wonderful. So our next session will be on the 6th of February on Saturday at 4 p.m. Jakarta time. I have dropped my phone number in the chat box. Do drop me a message so that I could update you with the upcoming events. And until then, stay safe, stay blessed, and have a nice weekend. Thank you.